Yeah, it's your boy P, checking in, spitting that knowledge. Today we talking about Senate Bill 1421 out there in California. So, California has a new Senate law saying that as of January 1st, police records can be looked at by the public. This is a public access law, of course, and you know, it's an idea that people have been wanting and needing for a long damn while. Specifically for the instances of police lying on duty, lying on motherfuckers, right? Sexual assaulting people, officer involved shooting, right? Motherfucking killing people. And I'm sure probably the other shit that police like to do, like police pedophilia, police bestiality, all the offenses against the public type crimes. And the reason this story is picking up is because Inglewood Police are shredding documents. Oh shit. They know they're guilty out there in Inglewood for doing this type of shit. Is basically what's happening. So the report says it's 100 documents going back as far as 20 years. And a coon by the name of James Butts, James Ass Butts, is the person that's going for this. A Sambo ass mayor out there in Inglewood. Motherfucking beady-eyed, LeBron hairline having ass, rectangle head shaped ass nigga. Right? And he used to be a fucking cop, like in the 70s and 80s. Then he eventually became a police chief, and I'm probably going to dig up some more dirt on him too, just to see if I can do a boycott expose on his ass if I had the time. But him and the city council are the ones that are pulling this shit off. And damn, yo, the way that they did this shit, it was so slick, y'all. So on December 11th, they were having this city council meeting. And I guess the issue came up of shredding police documents, right? They was like, okay, this is what I think happened. It was like, okay, so we're going to be shredding some documents. Going back as far as 20 years, 100 documents. All in favor say aye. It was like, aye. Okay, the motion passes. And that's it. But they didn't bring up nothing about the public access law that had just passed. They didn't bring up this law, right? Of public access to these cop records, right? So that's foul, dirty shit. They didn't even tell people. And Butts, his dumb ass, he's trying to defend it. But you can see how they pulled the slick willy on niggas, man. First of all, if the shit was so on the up and up and so innocent, because Butts is trying to sell it as like just some routine shredding. He's all on the police websites and shit trying to sell it as, oh, this is just some everyday shredding that we do. Well, if it was so on the up and up, notice they wouldn't have had to slide it in on people like that, right? If it's so routine, you know, why is not this Butts character, why is he ain't even addressing how they slid it on the table in front of people like that at the city council meeting without giving all the underlying facts, right? That's some dirty ass shit. So he's basically trying to give the evil cops out there in Inglewood. So take notes, Inglewood. He's trying to give y'all's evil record ass police out there some sort of narrative to hide behind. He's supporting this, trying to pass it off as some inert activity, some benign thing. Well, if it's so benign and so inert, first thing I'm thinking is like, okay, well, why not wait until after January 1st when the law come into effect? If it's so benign, this routine ass shredding, if it don't matter and it's just harmless shredding as you trying to pass it off as Butts, why don't you wait until the 4th to do it? Wait until the 20th to do it, right? So you got to be smart and think around these motherfuckers. You see the type of shit he talking? Somebody out there in Inglewood, hit him with what I just said. Tell him to wait until the 27th of January instead of December. Trying to beat the rush. Like, bitch, you know we coming for your ass. You know what I mean? But somebody out there in Inglewood, put that on his mental thick. Put that in his brain. You know what I mean? Because that's what's happened. That's how it should be handled. So, they shredding these 100 documents, lying, murdering, pedophile shit, rape, all this other shit on it. Other stuff that cops got off on, I wouldn't doubt it. They shredding this shit because they don't want appeals to swoop in. You feel me? They don't want motherfuckers who've been locked up for years off a police line to swoop in on appeals. If some concerned citizen group picks this shit up, if lawyers, legal firms who probably put in all these efforts into cases against the cops where cops was lying and they got all the evidence and the cops having to beat it through the white supremacist cop infrastructure, these legal firms gonna be coming at their head, you know what I'm saying? Coming back to haunt their ass. All that lawsuit shit all that shit is gonna be coming back. Shit they thought they got away with, it's gonna be coming back to smack them in their ass. And the police don't want to see that. The police in Inglewood they not wanting to see the police's dome pieces and then get caught up in the infrared beam of all the families they done dirty, all the people they done dirty, all the lawyers they've done dirty. Ever again. They don't want to see these people all over again because the shit is going to motherfucking backlog the court. It's going to fucking bankrupt the city with lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. If this info is just, free-flowing information, this shit is going to kick them in the ass hard. We often talk about the poor city management skills of the high IQ Neanderthals. Often. These recessives, right? Often. Now you motherfuckers see what we mean now. I mean, their inability to maintain a civilized police culture, it's got these motherfuckers scrambling, walking around like chickens with their brains blew out. You know what I'm saying? So just think about that shit. James Butts and the city council, they the ones pulling this shit off. It's always a coon motherfucker in the mix, playing the coon glue. God damn it. Gluing evil white supremacist missions together. And he's just a fucking embarrassment. Straight up. That's why it's just not enough for black people to be good vote niggas, like Roland Martin punk ass gonna say. It's just not enough for niggas to run to the polls like punk ass Charlemagne gonna say. It's just not good enough. And voting for black skin type shit, none of that shit is good enough. You gotta vote pro-black empowerment. For black empowerment, not just for black. Pro-black empowerment. That's why I say that on my channel. Pro-black empowerment is what's needed. This is why pro-black empowerment lobbyism need to be in place. Period. A mayor seat, that would be something to jump on. This would be their time to jump on that shit. Had he been in our pockets out there in Inglewood, all my people, that shit would have went way different. Instead of all these unnamed cop documents of dirt getting washed the fuck away, you know what I mean? Because we don't know what they're shredding. And, obviously the public records request triggered something in these motherfucking police. They're like, oh shit, yeah. You know what I mean? And what's going to happen now that this law is passed? They're going to play this shredding game with every single request that the public make. Every single one of them. So I would say 90% of them, because the public records request is a motherfucker. I mean, and they're just gonna say we shredded it to a stalemate. Anybody that make a request is gonna be, oh, we shredded it. They're just gonna keep saying it until it's a stalemate. It's like the law basically is not gonna have no effect. They're gonna say they keep shredding this shit. And that's what's happening. That's what's gonna happen. Cause like I said, that public request shit is a motherfucker. If lying on duty as an incident became a part of publicly available paper trails that followed police officers wherever the fuck they went, motherfuckers would be fucked up. That's the shit that's helping me right now. I had to get a police captain removed for lying on duty. He was trying to protect an officer of his who was racially profiling and harassing me and stalking me not too long ago. I guess this is story time with P again, right? So, so I'm walking out of this place. I'll just say a place of business. We'll call it a public government building. And I get stopped by this white supremacist race soldier. And I can say that because that's exactly what he revealed himself to be. And he started asking me for my ID. And you're not required to give your ID. And I really just didn't want to give him my ID just cause. Fuck, my car was right across the street. I'm leaving a public place. It's late at night. It's pitch black. I ain't hit him with the I ain't hit him with the shit like now you see, brother. You see, you asked me for my ID, brother. But see, my name is P, brother. P means power, brother, and power is the symbol of the dragon. And Chinese astrology, brother. And you see, because of the dragon, that makes me the last dragon, brother. You understand me? So with that, me being the last dragon, I'm going across the street to my car to go see Vanity, who is the understudy of Prince in her group Vanity Six. So because of her attribution to the man Prince, that makes me association with the prince, because I'm the dragon of the prince association. So therefore I cannot give you my identification. I'm not under your jurisdiction to, it wasn't none of that shit. I done heard that type of shit from motherfuckers. I wasn't doing that shit. I was like, look, man, I'm right across the street, homie. It's late at night, pitch black. I want to go fucking home. And I asked him, I was like, am I being suspected of a crime? You know what I mean? I always ask him that shit. He's like, no. Now, remember, he said no. I'm not being suspected of a crime. So I protested to him. I'm like, look, man, so let me go. You let everybody else in society walk by, ungaffled, unstopped, unfucked with. I mean, I'm even asking him. I'm like pointing at people like, why don't you stop this person? Why don't you fuck with that person? They're not being suspected. Why don't you stop that person? Why don't you harass that person? Why are you not being a real police officer and gaffling up everybody if you claim that I'm not being suspected of a crime, right? So this harassing me, it stopped my day, and it goes on for about 10 minutes. And of course, I got his badge, and I kind of embarrassed him. So after I got through embarrassing the officer, because he was embarrassed that a black man in public in front of white women was embarrassing his ass. Not just white women, but just everybody that was there. Everybody from every nationality probably was around. I don't know. But he was mad that a black man was checking him, me, right? And I was not afraid of him. He did not like that either, that I was not afraid of him. He didn't like that shit. And I'm a G. He didn't like that I was a G. You know what I'm saying? And I'm calling him out for being a racist, white supremacist, terrorist harasser. But after he says I'm free to go, free to leave, this unwarranted pedestrian harassment scene that he created, motherfucker follows me outside. Like, he starts following me into the dark of night. He doesn't go back to his post where he was at inside, standing in this public place. He follows me outside, and he starts yelling after me. Like, yelling, trying to get my attention, trying to have further interaction with me, further involvement with me. I say, you're following me, officer. You said I'm free to go, and you're following me, officer. You're following me. I'm saying this shit loud, you know what I mean? And he's talking smart, like he's saying some shit, like he's trying to say some shit to me, like trying to white-splain some shit to me. And I'm just like, motherfucker. I turned around. I went back into the place that I was coming from. I went right back into that premises. Because whatever added interaction he was wanting with me, I wanted it to happen on the cameras inside of that place I was coming from. Straight up. Like, if he was going to try to shoot me and kill me, beat me or mace me or whatever the fuck, I wanted it to happen in front of a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of cameras. He could have tried to say, well, outside, he big, strong, buck black man, he tried to attack me, and I feared for my stupid ass life, so I had to beat him up. I had to mace him. I had to shoot him. I had to kill him, right? Because it was really late, not too many people on the street. He could have tried anything off in a little hole or some shit. You know what I mean? He wanted to get an off-camera altercation with me because there was cameras in the building, right? So, I mean, dig this shit. I also got his body cam through a public records request. There goes the public records shit. That shit works well. And I filed a complaint. And guess what he did, y'all? When you watch the body cam shit, this fool turned off the body camera as soon as he said I was free to go, and turned around and started following me. He started stalking me, right? Only time a motherfucking slave patrolling ass race soldier motherfucker turn off their body cam, that's when they finna do some dirt. You know what I'm saying? He had on his mind to do some dirt to me that night, straight up. And I put it in the comments of a Lisa Cabrera video around that time that this happened. And I may even post up his body cam here on my channel. It's the real body cam video of this officer, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to get it professionally edited, and that shit is gonna cost. I don't know if I can do it right now. Hold up. Let me. So I'm putting this shit up. So I'm putting this shit up on Patreon. This shit going up on Patreon. This shit, if y'all give to the Patreon, y'all can catch this right here, catch one to this shit right here, and a bunch of other shit I got coming. I'm saying, help your boy put that shit up on the channel. Let me get my editing right. But yeah, that's what the fuck it is. I'm gonna try to put it up because the case is still going and shit. But like I said, man, lying on duty complaint turned out to be the business for me so far. I don't know how it's gonna end, but it's the business so far. And the police captain, he was blatantly covering for and lying for this harassing, stalking officer. The point I wanted to get to. They had to put a new captain on my case. So that's an admission of guilt like a motherfucker. First, I want to say the ultimate admission of guilt is when you got to fire somebody off a case. So I called out this racist white supremacist captain. He was lying and saying, well, what did he say? He was like, oh, my officer, he thought you were suspicious because there were crimes going on in the area of a certain type. And he was basically trying to be proactive. He was trying to sell me on me being somebody suspicious just because this officer was white and he said so, basically. Not because I fit any descriptions, none of that. He was just being proactive by harassing me and singling me out in a public place. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay. I'm not even saying nothing to him while he's telling me this shit. So what I did was I put in another public information request and pulled up the crime calls for that day in and around that time. This is public information. Just the calls and the type of calls the police was hot on and responding to that night, right? There was no crime calls of the nature that the captain was lying about. And I also talked to the people who worked there, asking, are there crimes like what this captain is talking about that was going on there in the building? And because I'm not new to this area, and actually the police that was racially profiling and racially harassing, racially stalking me, that motherfucker, he's actually new to the area, you know what I'm saying? And they said, nah, ain't been no crimes going on there in years. So I compiled that information. I sent it to his higher ups. I had to file another complaint against the old captain, the one who got fired. And he got removed from the case because he was a fucking liar. And my reason to the police chief, who's above all the captains, I had to talk to his higher ups. And it was like, look, man, your police captain is already lying on this case. It just got started. And he obviously has a conflict of interest due to his close relationship with this harassing, racial profiling, anti-black, stalking ass officer. You know what I'm saying? To where he's not going to be righteous with me, nor with his treatment of me. I'm telling him this. I'm like, look, man, I don't trust him. And I use that exact term. Like, he's not going to be righteous because he's lying already in the case from the jump street. Right? So they fired him off the case. But like I've been saying all week, man, when white supremacist males can't defeat you man to man, IQ to IQ, truth for truth, intelligence to intelligence, they hold it in and they be angry. So I could tell this captain, I could tell he was this chief he was a very angry white male, mad because a black man checked a white man, a couple of white men. He didn't like that shit, but he can't stop the real. I don't know, all of them probably went home and beat their wives that night, the night this shit happened. Because they knew, a black civilian, he got the best of us. He got over on our policing fraternity members that was out here pulling dirt. Shit. And that wasn't supposed to happen in a system of white supremacy to them. White supremacist, terrorist, male police fraternity members, they supposed to get away with pulling dirt. So they held that shit in. I'm sure they beat their wives after the one got fired and the other one got the complaint written against them. I'm sure they all was mad, beating up these stupid ass wives. Now look, the next captain, this is how they did this one. This is how they did this captain. They made him the overly nice, overly soft ass, good cop. Good cop, bad cop. He's like the good cop. He was overly nice as the case went on. Very unassuming. And, when I met with him, I still let him know, look, I don't know how you'll play this. I don't trust you to be righteous either. I'm not playing with these police. I'm letting them know I don't trust y'all. Y'all are evil. You know what I mean? But I said, look, all I know, this is why I said to him, I was like, look, all I know is I don't have the blue backing me. I don't have a badge backing me. I don't have the blue wall of silence backing me. I don't have a police fraternity backing me. I don't have a government-issued gun backing me. I don't have a government-issued set of handcuffs backing me. This is what I'm telling him while I'm sitting down with him in a meeting. I don't have a government-issued mace backing me. I don't have a government-issued bat backing me. Right? All I have is truth on my side. You know what I mean? And your previous captain lied. He wouldn't have lied to cover for his officer had he thought what his officer did to me was right. If he thought what he was doing was all right, pulling an unwarranted pedestrian stop, racially targeting me for harassment, racial profiling and harassing me and stalking me after turning off his body camera after the shit, right? The previous captain wouldn't have lied about why his officer was there in the first place, talking about his fake made up ass crime in the area stats, right? He lied because his officer was wrong. And I told him that, and I told his chief that. And they didn't like that I was telling the real. And he's mad that I caught him in the bullshit. I caught him eating shit for his officer. It was a case of a dog getting swatted on the nose by its owner. Me, I'm the owner of the dogs out here. After catching the dog piss and shit on the carpet. You know you catch a dog piss and shit on the carpet, you bop him with the newspaper on the fucking nose, right? And his other dog, who was raised alongside of him, came through and tried to eat the shit up. You know what I mean? So I say the police officer that was acting the ass at the stop, he was the dog that shitted originally. Then the captain come through, try to eat his shit up. You know what I mean? Because dogs eat shit, right? You know that shit, right? And whatever. I still see the piss, though. I still see that piss. You stupid dogs, right? You still getting punished fucking with your boy P, is what I'm saying. It's called coprophagia, when a dog eats shit, right? COPROPHAGIA. And COP is the first three letters of that shit. The etymology is some real ass shit. So peep that shit out. And yo, out there in Inglewood, I mean, back to it, this is a case of cop coprophagia going on out there in Inglewood. All them cops and internal review organizations, they trying to eat each other's shit right now. And that's just what it is. Y'all know what it is. They ain't shit. And just to my point of there always being a coon that's gluing the shit together. You know, we talk about James Butts out there in Inglewood. And yep, in my case, there was a coon black woman who was on this channel. What do I call them on this channel? I call them white supremacist wound lickers. You know what I mean? She's definitely a white supremacist wound licker, caping for the police the whole time. And she's still caping for him. She's some sort of community mediator, lawyer from Connecticut. I'll give you that. I'm going to throw Connecticut under the bus real quick. But she's supposed to be impartial. But, you know, she's a lawyer. So to me, she the police, really, straight up. Just a wind-up dog for white supremacy who throws the community under the bus for the police. That's her fucking job. So that's how it goes. Especially in cases like mine. In cases of a black man walking through that motherfucker who looked like her last boyfriend or who looked like her daddy, whatever. If a black man come through proving that multiple white slave patrolmen did dirt, she's gonna throw herself under the wheels of the bus to make them look good. And that's fucking sad. So I just want to say that. So what needs to happen out there in Inglewood, man? Damn, you know, we got the citizen review boards. There's 69 cities in America that got these review boards. I went on Wikipedia. I counted 69. Inglewood is not listed as one of them, so I guess it will be 70. They didn't put Inglewood's on there, but these citizen review boards are supposed to be outside of the police internal affairs and shit. Because, you know, internal affairs ain't shit. Internal investigation of their own dirt ain't shit. But I heard that this Citizens Police Oversight Commission, that's what they call it out in Inglewood, Citizens Police Oversight Commission, they've been slacking, I heard. They're supposed to meet every Wednesday, I think, or something like that. 6 o'clock, 6:30 at y'all city hall out there, and they've been slacking. I don't think they can be depended on, basically, to try to oversee the shredding process. Like, okay, y'all finna be shredding. Let me see what y'all shredding before y'all shred it. Should be the question that they put to these motherfuckers' cops. But you know, it's hard to get these citizen oversight groups to even enforce laws. They can't enforce really much of what they find on the police. Only about 6% is what they said out of all of the motherfucking oversight, citizen type oversight boards can enforce anything on police. So it's basically like they're just a paper tiger. A fucking paper tiger. And that's crazy. Out there in Inglewood, y'all remember our sister Keisha Michael? She got shot 13 times by the fucking Inglewood police out there. And the police oversight commission board, they didn't even meet to discuss what was going on. It was a big thing about it. They caught a lot of heat for that. She was sitting in her car. She had a gun on her person, but she Wasn't holding it. She didn't up it. She didn't aim it. None of that shit. And they just shot her 13 times. And her passenger, he died as well too at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So that shit fucking fucked up, man. I had to deal with the officer review board, and I'm having to deal with them right now. For my case, not a civilian review board, but maybe that could be my next step, but I don't know. But I was trying to get some additional camera footage. That's what happened. I was trying to get some additional camera footage from this place that this happened. And shit, I got a letter. This shit was crazy. I got a letter from the Attorney General of the state of Texas, Ken Paxton, racist white supremacist. He sent me a letter talking about, oh, I can't get this kind of camera footage because of terrorism and homeland security and all this shit. And I didn't know, but the motherfucking review boards and shit, all them shit, they go through the Attorney General. And the fact that it was a government building, I'll just say, a public government building that I was in, Ken Paxton is over that shit too. He's over whether or not you can get camera information. And like, I was trying to get the camera number and the identifiers for the cameras. And he's like, oh, well, it's terrorism and all. I'm like, all right, fuck y'all. You a racist white supremacist. So, so I don't know what the fuck to say. You know what I mean? What are our options in particular? Black people, I don't know. We've already determined that they're going to be shredding these documents at will. Already determined the citizen oversight groups are lazy and can't really do much to enforce shit. As far as enforce their ruling on the police, it's going to be the same old bullshit it look like, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Same old bullshit out there going on. You know what I mean? Ain't going to be nothing to stop these motherfuckers short of, like I said, find out where these motherfuckers mama stay, find out where these police daddies stay, find out where their kids go to school at, where their kids get the uniforms from at. You know what I'm saying? Where they get the uniform from at. You know what I mean? Straight up. And boycott places. Boycott who co-sponsors the events with these police. Boycott who their fraternities and sororities are. Like I've been managing out here with the Delta Sigma Theta and Renee Hall crooked ass. I mean, we just need to make their associations the subject of ridicule. That's pretty much all we can do right now, because shit, everything else is a fucked up picture. I don't think there's nothing we can do really right now. These motherfuckers is dirty. Straight up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, so you know when I'm dropping. Get it, y'all.